everybody. Joleen Lunzer!
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Joleen. Welcome to the BB Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. I break down all things Big Brother Season 24. Today, we are going to be talking all live feed spoilers. So if you don't like spoilers, this is definitely not the video for you. But if you do like spoilers, then you're in the right place. But first, let us set a like goal. Let's get a like goal. Let's get these likes going, you guys. Mods, keep me on track on where our likes are at. But let's set a goal for 900 likes. Let's see if we can do it. If you want to support the channel, you know, liking, subscribing, awesome ways to do it. I also have a membership on YouTube. I have a Patreon link that I linked in the live chat. And you can send a super chat while we're live or a super thanks after the video post. Thank you guys for all your support. We got to get into it because we have a Kyle exposed party. I wish I had like a graphic. I was going to wait and go live after the episode, and I was going to do an edited video for this Kyle exposed party, but there's just too much stuff. And I'm like, I need to do this now because there's a chance that Kyle could self-evict at that point. At this point, that's where we're at. So I'm just sending myself stuff over to my computer so I can share. Okay. So let me get you guys caught up with what's happening in the BB24 house. Okay. If you didn't know, let's just say you didn't know. Okay. Turner is HOH. Okay. He put on the block, Brittany and Taylor with the intent to backdoor Michael. However, the veto competition was yesterday. Michael got pulled. Kyle didn't get pulled. I think Brittany pulled Michael's name, and Michael won the veto, and he plans to take Brittany off the block. Okay. Indiana Girl Jules coming in with the first super chat. Thank you so much. Michael from St. Michael woke up and said, but first, blow up Kyle's game. So yeah, so once he won, so Michael was going around the house and he was just like, oh, you want to come for me, Kyle and Turner? All right, well, I'm going to win this veto, and then I'm going to put both of your asses up. And when I send one of you home, I'm going to laugh my ass off. And when I win the HOH, I'm actually going to pull a Janelle and be like, give me that key, bitch, when she did that to Jennifer in BB6. My chair keeps sliding. And he's like, I know it's probably not good for my game or good, whatever, but I don't care at this point. So obviously, Michael, veto king, he won the veto again. Today has been all about exposing Kyle. So the plan has been, they've been talking about it for a couple of days now, ever since, the Dire Fest peeps came back in. They've been saying, maybe we need to, where is this light coming from? Maybe we need to expose Kyle's KKK alliance, Kyle's Wonder Bread alliance, because Kyle has said multiple times on the feeds to Brittany, to Michael, that he wants to target all the people of color in the house. And he lumped them all together, even Indy, because he based on the cookout. Even though not most of these players aren't even working together in the game. We've had multiple Black House guests and POC house guests go home, but yet Kyle was still like, So he was targeting and wanted to bring all the whites together because he was afraid that the POCs, even the ones working with him like Monty, who was very, very loyal to him, and the leftovers, and the Pound, which was the 4 dudes inside the leftovers that had made an alliance. So it never made sense, and it could only be explained through Kyle's bigotry of assuming. And it was so strange because something that was and should be, it wasn't by everybody, celebrated that you had a group of people come together in season 23 being the cookout to actually get their first Black winner of Big Brother in 23 seasons. Now we're going to weaponize that kind of unity, and we're going to attack POC people in the house who have nothing to do with any of that and aren't even working together. So, Kyle has been called out for weeks now, and he's been called out for weeks on Twitter, and CBS has been protecting him. And that's just kind of what they do. when I look at Kyle now, I see Jackson Mickey 2.0. I can't not see it. I can't not see that this is what we're dealing with. Let me close this one blind. You guys give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Okay, sorry. That was bugging me. I think it's, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't understand how light works, obviously. Shout out to Zara. Yeah, over what Kyle said, he said he trusted him and looked at him as an ally. Okay, sorry, I didn't know. Shout out to Molly, but I'm not fully in the chat yet. Okay, so here's what's happening. So today was the day that Michael and Brittany were like, we are going to expose that Kyle had come to us with this all-white Wonder Bread Alliance and that he was afraid of a Cookout 2.0. And even when we tried to put him off the scent of it and say, I don't think that's a thing, or optics, or whatever the words they were using, he still pushed for it. And he was doing temp checks on Turner and assuming Turner would go along with him. And when he did temp checks on Turner, he didn't mention the all white part, but he did mention what happens if, someone takes a hit at the leftovers. And Turner, prior to Dyer Fest, was like, oh my gosh, that the first person that takes a hit at the Alliance is the first to get clipped. I wouldn't do that. Then Turner, after being in the backyard, even though he's #vanlife, he came back like a whole new dude. But I would argue that maybe this has probably been, maybe we were right preseason about Turner at this point. I know a lot of people want to stick up for him and they want to, but what I've seen from Turner today is it looks like a fake ally to me. If it walks like a fake ally, talks like a fake ally, brushes its hair like a fake ally, it's probably a fake ally. Turner has a lot of information dropped on him. So unfortunately, the feeds earlier today, Brittany and Michael woke up really early and they grabbed Taylor and Monty, and it looked like they were going to go have the conversation. Feeds cut. And it's like, what? So many people were tweeting about it. So many people were just pissed. And you have every right to be, because this is something we watch the feeds, we pay for the feeds because we want to see these real conversations with the people. And you're cutting it either one to protect Kyle or whatever, or two, you're cutting it so that you can use this in the episode. And it's kind of gross because then you're just looking to monetize and make money off of these people in the house and their trauma. And we've seen Taylor has had quite a lot of trauma, and we've seen so many microaggressions through the season. And now we have Kyle's blatant bigotry. And now you're just going to save this for the episode for like ratings and stuff. And that isn't the best look. You need to let us have a look at it. It's similar to how they cut the feeds on Dyer Fest. Like, what are you hiding? What are you hiding from us? Okay, Big Brother. So then the feeds finally came back and we started seeing conversations. First conversation I saw was Michael and Brittany talking to Alyssa. They spilled to her. Alyssa was like, no, I didn't know anything about that. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Okay, good. Thank you. You don't agree with that. And then she was getting upset about, him. They had conversation, I think, about him not using the veto as well. I do have stuff in my notes here I should probably look at, but she was very emotional. The thing with Alyssa is she gets very emotional about this game and what's going on, but it usually only has to do with herself and her feelings and this love, this poet inside of her, this love she has for Kyle. And it's like, nobody cares about the dude that gave you 10 seconds of dick. We don't care about that. There's a bigger picture out there. And I think Alyssa, much like Turner today, missed the memo that we don't care about 10 seconds of dick. We care about now Kyle's, bigotry being exposed, and you still are going to worry about, I feel like I know this man. You don't know this man. You entered in a game with this man that's a lot of it's about lies and manipulation. And let me tell you, Alyssa, your dude is the #1 liar and manipulator. Granted, you can do that in Big Brother. That is totally okay. But the fact that Alyssa has made it a point to call out everybody else lying at her, how she bucked up to Joseph, and she was like, excuse me, I'm talking. Okay, you lied to me. And he's like, I'm not even working with you, girl. Your boyfriend, the dude you lay with, is right there. And he lied to you. Not the same. Last night on the feeds, or it was the night before, I put a video out and included that in there. She was talking about Monty. She's having a really hard time trusting Monty in this new little 5-some they've now created. So is it a 5-some? Yeah. So it's the 4 Dyer Fest and Monty. It's not after party, but it is with Monty. I call them the afterthoughts because that's better. There's no party there. Parties are fun. This alliance is not fun. This alliance is the antithesis of fun. Okay. So she's going, I just don't know if I can trust Monty because he lied to me about the Amira vote. And Kyle's like, well, technically I lied to you too. And she's like, yeah, but he did so evilly. I understand she's young and all those things, but I need you to just wake up, lady. This 10 seconds a dick has just, I don't know. I feel like this is bad. This is a really bad look for you that you are willing to excuse the dude who owed you a ton and gave you nothing. He went back to his alliance, the leftovers, which Alyssa is hugely jealous of, like so jealous of, so jealous of, crazily jealous of. Okay. And he shared your information, he shared your feelings, he shared your secrets, he shared your gameplay that you shared with him about your friends and foes and that. And he conspired to get you out. He wanted you out. I mean, what more can, and it's coming to light and you're seeing all this and still you're like, but Monty owes you nothing. Monty owes you dick. Monty didn't give you dick. Kyle gave you dick. You got to always go. That's the same thing when you get cheated on and you want to go beat the girl up. Let's say it's a girl guy situation. And, the girls are always like, or so we see, on like TV or something, or life. And the girl's like, I'm going to kick that girl's ass. That girl does not owe you anything. That guy that you're with that promised you everything, he owes you everything. So don't kick anyone's ass because that's assault and I think it's a felony. But if you're going to hate on anyone or distance yourself from anyone, it's going to be the dude. Don't go beat up the girl. She might be trash for doing that, but she don't owe you anything. Kyle owes you the world. All these other players were doing, Joseph, Monty, Turner, Michael, Brittany, Taylor, they were playing the game. I'm sorry that you didn't get an invite to the game, Alyssa, because you were treating the game like Love Island. Because apparently you're a Love Island reject. I thought you were a Siesta Key reject, so I stand corrected. Okay, so they explained this to Alyssa. She looks a little concerned, but I'm thinking she's going to find a way to excuse herself out of this. Then she goes downstairs and she talks to Kyle. Kyle he feels it. He feels it coming in the air tonight. He's like, whoa, he is jizzing in his pants. He is pre-ejaculating all over that house. He's worried. He is worried. Yeah, hit that like. Thank you, Jamie B. He talks to Alyssa. She's having a hard time making contact with him, like eye contact. And Kyle's big thing is like, Taylor won't even make eye contact with me. Monty won't even make eye contact with me. Everybody won't make eye contact with him. It's like, bro, why does everyone have to make eye contact with you? And did you ever think maybe it's you're the problem because you're so disingenuous and distrustful that all your allies you've now thrown under the bus and you've targeted them racially? So maybe there's like a subconscious there that is a little guilty. Maybe you're a little guilty, Gus. Maybe that could be. Not everybody else. It can't be everybody else's problem. It probably is Kyle's problem. Speaking of talking like this, because Kyle and Alyssa are always talking like this, So frustrating. So they are having a talk in the Jetson bedroom, the bubble bedroom, whatever they call it. Alyssa has 2 drinks. He's like, wow, you got 2 drinks there. Ha, ha. And I'm like, dude, this is a 30-year-old man. This is a 30-year-old man. And this is how he's talking to his love interest, who he is now penetrating. Okay. Once penetration happens, you should be able to have mature conversations. You really should. But he didn't. Then, they're talking. Let's see. I think I wrote down some of the things they were talking about. They got in a fight last night, you guys, because it was really bad. If Kyle isn't racist enough, he's going to be a really bad controlling boyfriend, allegedly, from this behavior that we're seeing. He got mad at Alyssa, the woman he's lied to, given 10 seconds a dick, put on a floaty, lied to some more and said, oh, she's so emotional. He's mad at her because he said he wanted her to come up and say goodnight to him or some bullshit that you do when you're like 14. Okay. And so he said, I'm just sad and I'm mad because I felt dumb waiting for you last night. And I could hear you talking to Michael. And I was expecting you to come up. And she was like, I can't always be there. I can't always do that. Like Michael was talking to me and I can't always go there. And he was like, yeah, but okay, I just expected you. And she's like, well, you've done that to me before. I expected y'all. And then y'all were upstairs talking and I was having panic attacks while y'all were, just with your little leftovers that I wasn't included with. And he was like, okay, but did we have an agreement that I was going to meet you somewhere? Yeah, like 2 times. Okay, well then I'm sorry. I'm thinking, she can't talk to anybody else. She can't talk game. You can be up there having whole other alliances and groups and being a racist. And you got time to do so much, sir. And she can't even talk to Michael and listen to Michael and his stories, which I'm sure are far more interesting than your 10 seconds of love. Okay. So then she's not giving anything. I'm thinking she's not going to tell him what she was just told by Brittany and Michael that he is the new David Duke. Like, I was like, what? So then he awkwardly spills. She's like, hold those 2 drinks. And then he awkwardly spills her 2 drinks. And then it was really weird. And she's like, it's okay. And then he wipes it up. It's really awkward. And he says, do you still like me? And she said, mm-hmm. If a woman ever says mm-hmm to you, when you ask her if she likes you, she doesn't like you. She doesn't like you right then. She is planning your murder. She is planning your Dateline episode. She is getting ready to see how she would look in orange. She does not like you, okay? And then he goes, he's trying to win her back over. So obviously, the mature thing to do would be to compliment her, to make her feel good. He says, I think you're so pretty and you're so hot. I wish we could go out to the pool and just chill. Thank you, 30-year-old. What in the what of the what? Mothers, fathers, stop coddling your children for this long because something's wrong in the water in Utah. What happened? I don't want to just blame the mothers. It could be the fathers too. But maybe you shouldn't be, managing your kids' TikTok when they're a 30-year-old man, because look at the mangina you've now raised. And I don't even want to insult vaginas like that because vaginas are mature and create life, but I can't think of another word right this second. So Alyssa says she wants time alone. Time alone? It isn't even her time of the month. Even on her time of the month, she gives you sex. So this is serious. This is serious, okay? Then Michael goes upstairs and spills to Turner, and I'm like, yes, oh my God, finally. We're keeping spilling. We're spilling. Spill Kyle's everything. However, I will tell you, I do wish that Michael and Brittany had said this sooner. Obviously, I wish they'd said this sooner. I wish right when this was happening, they would have immediately just shut it down and been like, you sound like a racist. Are you a racist? Are you part of the Aryan Nation? Where were you January 6th? I wish they would have shut it down. They didn't. We know they didn't do that, okay? But now they're calling it out. Technically, some people can say it is for game, but at this point, Michael's safe and Brittany's safe. So the only person they'd be saving is hopefully Taylor, because Michael was straight up like Paula Abdul with Alyssa, and he told her during their conversation, I'm just gonna be straight up with you. I want Kyle gone this week. I'm gonna do everything I can to get Kyle on the block as a replacement. And she's like, okay. And she's just thinking like, how many more 10 seconds do I have? She's counting on her hands, and not a lot. Because I'm sure he's like a performer and then he can't perform again for like a day. He's got to like hydrate with like milk and cookies and like cry or something. Okay. So then we get to the Turner part. He's going in to spill to Turner. And I'm thinking, all right, because Brittany has mentioned that maybe we can also approach it like Turner being an entrepreneur. Turner, what will this look like to his business? Which is shitty that you have to even think of mentioning this, of how it looks to the outside. But here we are, America, okay? And so they go into Turner, and Michael's like, here's the deal. I got something to say. Super uncomfy. Because white people, we need to stop describing racism as uncomfy, because it's a lot more than uncomfy. All right. And also, like, talking and discussing this sort of thing it's not supposed to be comfortable. Not every conversation in life is supposed to be comfortable. You should be able to have the hard conversations, especially when you are a fully fledged adult. And if your conversation about it is uncomfortable, think of how it is for people that actually experience racism. I mean, it's just like, we're gonna have to talk about this. I heard this a lot today on the feeds. It's like, I didn't even want to bring it up. I mean, it's so uncomfy. It's so uncomfy. And that's because you don't have to deal with that on a daily basis. So to us white people, it's just like, oh, well, yeah. Oh, I heard about that. We can only go by what our experience of, hearing about it or possibly seeing it and not saying anything, or seeing it and saying something. But to have that real experience, that's why we're so fragile. That's why they peg white fragility, is because we're like, oh God, we just don't. That's why we invented the whole, I don't see color, because then it's easier for me not to see color. And again, you see color. I know this shirt is blue and it's tie-dye. I know my hair is blonde. Some of it's gray and my roots are dark. You see color. You don't go to the hairdresser and go, whatever. You don't buy clothes and go, I don't even see that color. What color? Am I wearing blue pants? I have no idea. You do. Okay. We just created that whole, like, we don't see color because it makes us feel better, but it does not help people of color that you're not seeing, their struggle, their experience. Like, it's just basic shit. Google it, please. Oh my God. All these people in the house. Okay. So they're talking to Turner, and then Michael's doing a pretty good job. He's laying it out. He's like, let me just tell you, Kyle wanted to create an all-white alliance. So I don't know. That's who your dude is. That's who your guy is. And Michael says, can I lock the door? So he locked Turner in there to tell him that your friend is doing an all-white alliance. And Turner was like, whoa, dude, that's not fire. That's not fun. That's not fire. Whoa, dude. Okay, whoa. Yeah, I didn't know about that. Michael's like, yeah. So he's explaining. Then here comes Brittany. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. We can't. Sometimes Brittany just, because when she was in the Alyssa conversation, it was a lot of, we're just trying to, we need to be more blunt with it. It's not like, we know Kyle's not a bad guy. How do you know? How do you know he's not a bad guy? I would say that someone bringing up that over and over again is kind of a bad guy. I would say that's a bad move. I would say that needs to be changed. I would say that's poor behavior. So why are we always more concerned about coddling the racist who's saying racist things than we are about the people who are affected by racism? If you're affected by racism, what do people say? They go, oh my God, you always make it about race. It's a race thing. God, if you wouldn't make it a race thing. But the people who are actually racist were like, oh God, I feel bad for that guy. This could ruin his life. And it should ruin your life. Because it should wake you up to change. Change is possible. But if we're just coddling racists and breastfeeding their racism our whole life, oh, it's okay, little racist, you won't lose a thing, then no one's going to change. Progress isn't going to happen. Because if you're that stupid to go on national TV and target people of color you're working with and assume they're working together based on the sole fact that they're all POC based on an alliance that was monumental and had to make history in BB23 because it had never happened before, because the scales have always been heavily slanted towards the whites when there's been a million all-white alliances. I mean, then you deserve to get called out, sir. You deserve it. So Brittany comes in and it's more of like, we just, what is the optics? And obviously we don't agree with that. And I'm just like, okay, can we get to the point? Can we let the lawyer? I need Michael to lawyer. I need him to throw stuff down. So Brittany made a couple good points, but I feel as though it was falling on deaf ears with Turner. Turner's just like, I don't like that. Nope, that makes me uncomfortable. Again, the whites are uncomfortable, which means they're going to have to, probably, they'll have to come in with the I don't see color, which we'll see later from Alyssa. But then he goes, okay, so they throw all this at him. Like he was targeting all the POC in the house. He was, talking about all white alliance, worried about Cookout 2.0, running around with this. At one point he told Michael, and he started to say something. He goes, it'll get me canceled. And Michael's like, and I didn't like that. And Turner's like, well, I don't like that either. But it's funny. Nobody liked it, but nobody said shit about it. Nobody stood up and was just like, bro, what's going to get you canceled? I get it's a game, but some things transcend game. Some things are bigger than game. And it actually would help your game to suss out the racist at this point. Because even if you win, if you're aligned with a racist and you win, I mean, how's Holly Beth doing? Not good. You know what I mean? So Michael even said that. Even if I win, I'll feel bad. Even if this hurts my game now, coming out about this, if I win, I won't feel good knowing I was aligned with any of this in any way. So then Turner's like, oh, well, facts, fire facts. Okay, yeah. Cool. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me just take this in. I got some coffee. Megan Belmonte, racism bad. I like rugs. Facts, fire. I'm kind of doing Kyle's dirty work. I might have a crush on Alyssa. Okay. Now, since you guys brought up something uncomfy, he doesn't even dissect it at all. He's just like, since you guys brought up something uncomfy, I want to talk to you guys about something uncomfy too. Okay. Taylor. Then he continues to throw Taylor under the bus. Turner does. Turner Burner's like, okay. So Taylor, she spilled and she said that, me and Kyle were the first to go on the leftover. So I want to know why I was first to go. He's more concerned about his dumbass and throwing Taylor under the bus. They just told you your best friend in the house is a racist who's trying to form an all-white alliance. And your response is, let's go after Taylor, the woman that allegedly this leftovers was formed around people being left out and bullied, but now you're just fine with that. And don't get me started on Turner Burner and his white savior complex, because he's got it. He's like, first of all, I saved Taylor week 3 and technically on my HOH. So I'm not trying to be a savior. Well, you are, and you are. That's why you have to say and preface it with, I'm not trying to be a savior. You are trying to be a savior at this point. She owes you something. The tiny bit of respect, either in the, speech you wrote or Joseph wrote for you or production wrote for you, is actually what you should have done. Those aren't things that you need to be thanked for. Actually showing common human decency and calling that shit out isn't something that Taylor has to go, thank you so much, Turner. Oh my, what would I do without you and your unconditioned hair helping me in this game? No, sir. I would argue that Taylor helped you more in this game than you'll ever know. However, you fucked it up, because here's the deal. Turner would not be a fan favorite without the leftovers and Taylor. He would not. Look at him preseason. Not good. The drama and controversy. His sister calling him out. Beef with Mr. Beast on YouTube. People calling him out for that. Already being called a racist by his maybe racist sister, but racists run together, birds of a feather. So also, who was he best friends with early on in the season? Pooch. Did we like Pooch? I don't think so. Pooch was a little problematic himself, wasn't he? Yeah, but you sure loved Pooch. And who was he most upset when they left? Who was he like? We had to see that picture of him with his painted nails, wiping his eyes like, it was Paloma, right? He was just I've never seen him cry like that for Taylor. Never seen him cry like that for anybody. But Paloma, he was like, So you joining the leftovers actually made you likable. And had you actually that been your true intention to call out bullying and make a very big and powerful alliance that was going to get rid of these haters and bullies, and had you went forward with that, dude, your rugs would have been selling like, oh my God, your YouTube channel would have way more subscribers than it does now, and you could get a bigger van. But unfortunately, I see your true colors shining through, and we saw it. And now it's like, how can you be a fan? No offense, bro, but you got a lot of stuff you got to fix, okay? So he's throwing Taylor under the bus to Michael and Brittany, and they're like, okay, yeah, why was I the first one to be cut from leftovers? And, Taylor, and I still want Taylor out. So he hears his friend's a racist, a bigot, all white alliance, Wonder Bread, mayonnaise everywhere, expired, sour cream all over the floor. It stinks. And he's still like, but I still think it's better if Taylor goes. Well, there's your Rugrat. All the people that are like, oh, I love Turner. He could do no wrong because he was likable and he hid muffins. Sure, yeah, that was fun. But now we saw the true Rugrat, and that is the Rugrat. And it's okay to just admit, hey, I admitted before, I said, maybe I prejudged, Kyle and Turner. I did say that. And then, I remembered, no, I'm usually really right about these things. That's just how Joleen rolls. But I'm also a lot older, and I've been watching Big Brother for long enough, and I've been watching white men my whole life. So I know how they move. Okay. Most of them. And yeah, so I wasn't wrong. So we'll take that back. But everyone else out there who's, wanting to just, he's fucking up. Your friend is fucking up. Okay. And unless you call that out, he's not going to change. Because if you just coddle him and protect him, now don't go, harass his girlfriend in his rug store. Let him have his rug store. Okay. But call this behavior out. Okay. So then they leave. And one thing I didn't like, again, I don't like this from Michael and Brittany. And St. Michael from St. Michael was my early fave, and I still have, hope in him, but there's still some behavior I don't like. Brittany especially, really quick to throw Taylor under the bus, really quick to agree with Taylor or Turner, who went on to say, he keeps saying, well, first of all, he keeps saying, oh, I'm not associated with that Kyle stuff because I'm not a straight white man. I'm bi. It's close. It's close enough. It's close enough, Turner. I mean, you can't just check all the, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to Taylor's experience, Monty's experience, Terrence's experience in this world, just marking bi isn't going to absolve you from any racism or exclusivity or, implicit bias. It's just not. I see this happen a lot in LA. People are like, well, no, I'm part of the minority too. It's like, not the same. Not the same. Okay. God bless everyone and everyone who everyone loves, and all my bi friends and all my gay friends and all my lesbian friends and everyone trans and everything. But Turner just trying to roll with this. Well, I am bi. Well, then if you were a class of people that has experienced, harassment or unjust behavior, wouldn't you know to stick up for other people like that? Because I'm a straight white lady, and even I know that. I don't even have to be bi, and I know that. So it just doesn't make no sense to me. But I don't know. It was a weird thing for him to say. Okay. So then he's talking about, Taylor. So the stuff he's saying about Taylor, I'm just like, what happened out there in Dyer Fest? What was said that the way he hung out with Taylor and Joseph for weeks, And now Turner's like, he feels that Taylor is the least, this is his words, the least rational player in the house, with a close second to Kyle. After he hears about Kyle's Wonder Bread alliance, he still says Taylor is the least rational player. Second only to Kyle. So Kyle's still more rational. Racism is still more rational than Taylor. He says he doesn't want to be in the wrath of Taylor. That seems terrifying. Again, putting forth this myth, this stereotype, this harmful label that a Black woman that she's had since the day she walked into this game, even though, have we seen Taylor react at all? Have we seen her pop off on anybody? Have we seen her yell at anybody? Have we seen her do anything but show grace and empathy and put little gifts in people's suitcases when they're leaving? Have we seen any of that? She's Miss fucking Congeniality. And he is saying he's terrified. What's so terrifying about her? What's so scary? To which Brittany agrees. And Michael was staying quiet, but there was a moment when then Michael chimed up about that, I thought, good, Michael, stay quiet or stand up and say something, that Taylor is not in fact terrifying. And what are you talking about? Sure, was it a little messy, her HOH with her and Joseph? Well, yeah, but also the woman was being harassed and microaggressions thrown at her, and people saying these awful things about her. So she finds one person in the house that she can actually trust after going through like this trauma of this house, just like gaslighting the shit out of her. And then she's finding out, they're trying to convince her that she couldn't even trust that. So, did she fall into a situation where she was kind of believing whatever Joseph said? Yeah, because it's a social experiment where you take people and you put them in weird situations of, being secluded and having nothing to entertain themselves and none of their friends or their family or the TV or the things that we use to turn our brains off. And she gets one person that's close to her. That's why all these people seek human contact, and we see showmances develop because, that's what we're used to in the world, is being close to people, and needing people. Most of us do that. And so she was doing that with Joseph. So was that a little messy? Sure. But is she terrifying? No, she is not. Okay. And then Michael was, sitting there, and I'm thinking, well, Michael's not agreeing. So that's good, I guess. And then he was like, yeah, that's kind of why I invited her. Oh, now I'm worried I invited her to the movie, or made some comment. And I was like, oh, no, just, can we stick to the racist here, which is Kyle? And can we quit vilifying Taylor as if, what did Taylor do? Did she talk about how she's a big fan of the game too much, or how BB cares a lot about their seasons or their game? Or, I mean, really, anyways, they also were making comments that out in Direfest that we could hear Taylor through the door. We could always hear Taylor. It's like, so she's having fun. She's in Big Brotella. What are you talking about? We can always hear her. These people, so don't believe the hype. Turner, he don't care. He don't care. He never cared. The fact that this man could sit there and be friends with Joseph and Taylor and stay up late at night and talk to them and then turn about face and be like, she terrifies me. I don't like her. She's the least rational in the house. What are you doing, sir, child? What are you doing? Okay. She freaks him out and she's super scary. That's what he said. I didn't say it. Okay, so Turner stands. I don't know how you're going to explain yourself out of this one. Maybe just admit he's not right. Taylor's, so then he does some cam talk, okay? And listen to what he says to the cam. Thank you, Realification, for the super chat. If Kyle self-evicts at this point, would he go to jury? No, he would go home. Has anyone ever self-evicted this late in the game? I'm sure there has been. I can't. I'll have to think about that one. Feel free to put it in the chat, okay? All right. So Taylor's still worse for my game, he said to the cameras, even with that weird alliance in Kyle's mouth. So he says, Taylor's still worse for my game, even with that weird alliance in Kyle's mouth. So even though Kyle's probably racist, Taylor's still worse for my game. Okay. I still want Taylor to go home. And then I'm just like, oh my God. You dummy, you dumb dummy. Okay. Yeah. Cause this is a man who feels like his HOH saved Taylor and she should be, licking his dirty butt because he does van life and he poops in bags. I'm not judging, but I'm judging. Okay. And then he composts. Maybe, recycling is great, but how you treat people is probably just as important. So you might want to, balance the two. Turner said Taylor seems unstable. To Britt and Michael. Unstable, huh? Unstable. Wow. Unstable. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy because I would say you seem more unstable. I mean, if you look at the trajectory and path your life has already taken and your life in the house, pretty unstable. Taylor's stayed loyal to those she promised to stay loyal to, but go off, weird person. Okay, so he says that. Then we get, keep saying, I'm not a straight white male, I'm bi. Okay, cool. Then Monty talks to Turner, and I'm like, ooh, this will be good. This will be good. Okay, hopefully this will be real good. Okay. Monty, he's such a, just even the way he's able to like talk to these idiots, I'm just like, this man has a bunch of patience. Okay. He said there is, or then, you know, he's explaining because Monty now knows, you know, welcome Tyler to the lean team. Thank you for joining. You know, Monty knows everything now. And Monty is like, get Kyle out. If this were BBUK, he'd be like, get Kyle out. But he's approaching Turner in just a very logical Monty way. You know, here are the facts. Here's nothing emotive, nothing, you know, over the top. He's like, here's are the facts. Here's what we should do, you know, or what should we do kind of thing. And Turner agrees and says, well, there is racism within itself with trying to loop you all in, talking about the people of color in the house, when it's obvious that it isn't the case. And he tells Monty, I hated all of it. Just so you know, me as a white, not a straight white, okay, but me as a white, I hated all of it. So then I'm thinking, okay, Turner is admitting that it's racist. And he's admitting that he hates all of it, but yet still Taylor's. And then he goes to Monty, oh, well, do you think, I don't know, do you think you're still, you know, because Taylor's technically bad for my game? How? I still have no idea. Other than that you shit on her and put her on the block and betrayed her. But other than that, I don't really know how she's worse for your game other than what you did, what you created. And you can actually salvage that. You just have to admit you were wrong and you were, you know, tricked by a racist, those tricky racists, those tricky all-American racists, all-American, okay? So then he says, Monty wants to know, you know, at this point we get Turner telling multiple people, I got to put Kyle up. I got to put Kyle up. You know, I still, you guys think Taylor's bad for my game and maybe you can still vote her out, but I have to put Kyle up for optics, for white people optics, okay? So for white people optics, he's going to put Taylor up. And then Monty wants to know about last week because Monty's smart. Monty's like, That's why in my last update, I said, I don't know exactly what Monty's doing, but I have a feeling he's just working with what he has right now. But really his goal is not to work with this afterthought alliance. Knowing Monty, I don't see that happening. And sure enough, he's not, because he doesn't believe the BS that they've been spewing. So he's like, I want to know about last week, because an alarm went off in me, and that's not really how it went down. Thank you for the super sticker, the CAC 16. Thank you so much. And Turner tells Monty, yeah, I mean, there was some spillage here, and I was the only one of the leftovers who didn't spill. He's still not fully admitting that Kyle spilled first. Kyle spilled before he was even put on the block. Kyle wet his Huggies. Kyle's Huggies were wet. He was sitting in his own peas like, Mom, change me. The minute they got out there, they didn't have noms yet. And Kyle was like, I'm going to leftovers here. Like he just spilled, because that's what Kyles do. No offense to Kyles out there, but introduce me to a nice one. Okay. Thank you. The CAC 16 again. So then Turner tells Monty also BT dubs. Turner tells that Kyle wants you to be a pawn this week. Sarsies. I know you just told me my friend was racist, but also he also wanted to put 2 Black people on the block. I know it's weird. I didn't register, but like now I guess it's kind of registering. And Monty's like, I knew it. I knew Kyle was full of shit. I knew when he came with that story, he's full of shit. Okay. So then they agree, we're going to put Kyle on the block. We can't roll with this dude. And Turner, after just telling Michael and Brittany, you're the only people I can trust, you're the only people I feel sane talking to, tells Monty the same thing. You're the only person I can trust. You're the only person I feel sane talking to. And Monty's like, okay, bro, facts fire. I'm going to go downstairs because now I have to go coddle more white people about their friends' racism. So that's exactly what Monty has to do. Alyssa is talking to Kyle in the Jetson bubble room. And so far, she hasn't said anything. And Kyle's like, come on, I know, something's up. something's going on. He's walking around with his blankie on. He was like, my binky. He's got his support security blanket, and Alyssa is his insecurity blanket because she is so insecure. And she's laying there and she's like, okay, well, they're saying that you want to get all the white people together. Okay. And I don't think you would do that. And he's like, what? Are they saying I'm doing things based on race? That I'm doing? Are you kidding me, Alyssa? That's a big deal. She's like, don't freak out. He's like, don't freak out. That could ruin my life. That's not what I wanted. Okay. He's like, the only thing I ever said was there's reasons. They had their reasons for being on the show. Like the reasons were strong, like Joseph being, Middle Eastern and Taylor being a woman. No, you did not say that. I said about their racing. No, you said because they're all people of color, that's their reason. And they're all going to work together against you and you got to take them all out, even though they're working with you. That's what you said. You didn't say nothing about no woman, nothing. Because if that was the case, your girl was in Girls. The girl you're targeting about the woman stuff wasn't even included in Girls. You dumb. Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. I'm loving your fabulous BB YouTube shorts. Not as short as 10 seconds, but still great, right? I got to get them 10-second ones down. Thank you, Jefferson Tucker. Appreciate you. Yes, Kyle is full of shit. Insecurity blanket. She is the biggest insecurity blanket, okay? So let's see. Kyle has his... So then he's like, God, I'm going to leave this game. And he starts threatening self-eviction. Okay. And, again, this isn't anything he's ever said. This is going to ruin my life if this is their pitch. And she's like, go talk to them. I know you wouldn't be racist because any guy that gives me their 10 seconds of Mormon ween would never be a racist. Never. He's like, oh my God, I got to go. And he gets up in his blanket and he's trying to get in the DR. And the DR is saying to him, the diary room is temporarily unavailable. And I'm like, they don't even want to talk to you. And so then he walks upstairs and he's like, I need in. Can I go to the upstairs? He goes to the upstairs. He can't. He's pacing. First he pees. Of course he's got to pee. And he always is this a male thing? My husband doesn't do this, so I don't know. But maybe it's just like a baby male thing. He starts taking his ween out before the doors even close of him going to the potty. And I'm just like, sir, can you close the door? We're on TV. I do not want to see you urinate. I've already seen you do enough disgusting things. Thank you, RRC, for that super sticker. Appreciate you. Okay. So then, so he's just like, no, this is going to ruin my life. And she's like, go talk to him. So he's like, I need to go to the DR. They're like, the DR is like, we're temporarily unavailable. And then he talks directly into his mic. He goes, what did he say exactly? He says, I need to talk to you guys immediately. And when a 30-year-old man says, I need to talk to you guys immediately, they opened up that upstairs, which I think has the therapist. And I do therapist because I don't really know, but I think they talk about having therapy sessions up there. So he goes into there and then the feeds, that wasn't when the feeds got. Okay. So he goes into there. Where else? Okay. So he had told Alyssa, this is bigger the game. This is my life. All right. So then we have Monty talking to Terrence. So Monty and Terrence have this whole conversation. Monty breaks the news to Terrence earlier. So it's a little chopped up, but this is I had to go back from cam to cam to be able to hear everyone's conversation because I can't do a quad in both. I need to focus on each conversation. So Terrence, who's previously a showman's saver, showman's lover, was HOH, saved the showman's, got rid of Joseph, a part of this whole, afterthought alliance. Monty tells him straight up, it's like, dude, he was targeting all the Black people in the house, all the POC people in the house. He thought we were playing together. And Terrence is like, what? What? Terrence looked actually mad. Magdalia, thank you so much for that super chat. You are so welcome. You're so welcome. Okay. Terrence looked mad. And maybe I wrote it down in my phone, what he said. Okay. Terrence said, Monty talks to Terrence, tells him about Kyle's all-white alliance cookout 2.0 theory. And Monty says, I'm not sure about that dude, man. He was willing to go through all that to get Joe out and willing to squeal on his alliances just to keep himself off the block. And then after he tells Terrence about the all-white, alliance, he says, And then to say all Black people are working together. And Terrence says, how are we working together when I'm up every fucking week? And I'm like, exactly, Terrence. Exactly. It makes no sense. This guy is a freaking loser. Thank you, Deb. Thank you so much for the super sticker. So, let's see. Spills to, okay, I already put that part. So Monty talking to Terrence. And while they're talking, Kyle comes in and it's super awkward. Then Kyle's like, sup, guys? And it's like, oh, nothing, just talking about your racism, but they're not. Then they kind of talk to him and he's like, God, Alyssa, I just got done talking to Alyssa. She's like soup's emotional. Thank you, Spoon, KS1, appreciate you. And, she's like, oh, Alyssa, but don't tell her I said it. Like, there's no part of me that believes this man is 30 years old. There's just no part of me that believes this man is 30 years old. This is not how they act. Like, don't tell her to say anything. I mean, we're fine. Yes, that's what we're concerned about. The where your relationship is at with Alyssa at times of racism. We are so worried about your little faux cringe mans with Alyssa and your 10 seconds of ejaculation. We don't care. Thank you for the super sticker. Okay. Terrence looked, he looked mad. Okay. And he looked just like Terrence in his messy gameplay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So then Kyle leaves. They talk a little bit more. Kyle, ends up going to the DR, and Alyssa then poor Alyssa, in all of this, all of her friends in the house, all of the POC players in the house who were targeted by her 10 seconds of love boyfriend, be damned, because Alyssa's like, I just don't think he could do this. So she's talking to Terrence because she loves Terrence, sweetie, I love you, sweetie, do you love me? And he's like, I do, and they're basically, him and Monty are trying to talk her off the ledge. And I'm thinking, the privilege this chick has. And I broke it down on Twitter, like all of the reasons why I believe Alyssa is the most privileged person in this game, because she's been on a victim campaign this entire week. And it's utterly bullshit, because she has all of the privilege in this game, all of the cushion. And the minute she's a little uncomfy, that is when she acts like she's some kind of victim, and she's not. She's had everything handed to her, everything. She's been treated with the utmost respect, other than the 10 seconds of jizz, but very good. Yet compared to like the treatment of Taylor, I have like examples. Follow me on Twitter if you want to check it out, at Joleen Lunzer. I don't want to bore you with my tweets right now. But so she's in there, and they're basically having to talk her off the ledge. I'm just like, and she says, I just don't think Terrence, I don't think he'd do this, because Monty was talking to Terrence before she walked in, and he was basically like, I hope for the sake of her soul, talking about Alyssa and her conscience, that she's not working with this man after hearing that information. I hope for the sake of her conscience and her soul that she's not working with this man after hearing that. But Alyssa's, she's in her feelings. She's like, but I love him. We've been planning our children. We're going to be #van life, and they're going to go to Florida or something. He's going to meet my friends. So she's like, I don't think he would do that. I mean, I'm so sorry, Terrence. Like that, I don't agree with that. Obviously, racism, bigotry, oh my God, targeting you guys just because you're people of color. Like, I don't. But I don't hear him saying that. Well, of course, I'm not going to maybe say that to you, dumb. He didn't tell you anything in the game. How can you even think that you would know the first thing about what this dude is doing in the game when he hasn't told you shit? He took the pillow talk you gave him about game and stuff and ran and told other people who laughed at you and wanted you gone. He laughed at you. He wanted you gone. He just looks at you as like a sex object, unfortunately, at this time. Thank you, Jay Esco. I'm loving this live. Kyle Exposed Party, 1.3K watching. Yeah, hit that like, you guys. Let's set it for 1,000 likes now. Let's get our goals up. Let's just live our best life. Thank you, Jay Esco. Appreciate you so much. So, she's just like, I don't think so, Terrence. And Terrence, you could tell. I mean, I don't know what Terrence is thinking. If I was Terrence, I'd be like, I would not coddle her for 2 seconds. She should wipe her tears away, okay? And she should be asking Monty, Terrence, and Taylor, are you guys okay? That my boyfriend basically is horrible and targeting you and making your life and your game even harder than it has to be, based on things you're not supposed to base on outside of this game and factors. Are you guys okay? But no, it's Alyssa. She's like, well, I just don't think he would do that. I mean, and then she pulls I don't think he sees it like that. We don't see you like that. It's like, Here we go with the We Don't See Color, Alyssa. You sure do when you're talking about how tan you are. It's so funny because she's always like, I'm so tan. Look how tan I am. How are you getting tan? Someone's getting tan. Isn't that? I mean, come on. Thank you, Shamarla. Thank you. So, Terrence is trying to talk to her like, it's okay, G, I got you. Terrence and Turner's affection to Alyssa, I don't understand, other than it's this savior thing where she's like just this little innocent lady. The same thing I was talking about on my Twitter is that if you look at the difference, Alyssa was praised and her beauty was coveted from the moment she came in this house by everyone. And Taylor's beauty, she was ostracized for it. She was criticized for it. So very different reactions to two beautiful women. And Alyssa has been looked at as someone that needs protection, yet she's done nothing in this game. Nothing. Yet all these men in the game are trying to help her. And she doesn't need protection from anything because she's never been in danger of anything in this game, while Taylor's getting yelled at by other men and people stay silent. Taylor's having microaggressions thrown at her. People are silent. No one's protecting Taylor, but why are they protecting Alyssa? And this just goes back to Alyssa's privilege in the game and the overall, thing that happens in America is that white women are able to weaponize their tears, and white women are looked at more as needing protection, and people will look at them with more sympathetic eyes than they do Black women. Black women are treated very differently. If you look at even Black women, the history of going to the doctor, and still Black women aren't listened to. Their pain isn't heard. There's so many things that can't be refuted, and it can't be like, that's just a race thing. It's not. These are facts of life in the United States of America. White women and Black women are looked at very differently in society, and it affects so many aspects of their life. So obviously it's going to affect the game. And this is just a small aspect of actually, a bigger picture of Black women who suffer because of this mindset that has been pushed forward, and that we have been conditioned to believe under white supremacy that somehow a white woman's fear that it should be we should protect them more, and that Black women, they don't need the same protection, or they're harder, or they're strong. You're so strong. And it's just like, what? And obviously this is something that is bigger than game, but these aren't things that people just make up to fucking. Nobody wants this to be true, but it is, so the people that are like, you guys just make it about race, you liberal idiots, you just make it about, first of all, I'm progressive. Second of all, you can't make things about race when they just are. When you live in the United States of America, and this is a freaking microcosm, this is a mirror to the world we live in, of course that shit is going to get inside of this game. Those same implicit biases, those same things are going to come in, and it's going to affect people whether they like it or not. So I don't know. I have to go through my comment section sometimes. I just get so annoyed because it's like, bro, if you're not benefiting under white supremacy, why, if somehow you're not benefiting or you don't like it or whatever, why are you so bothered by someone calling it out? If it's not true, then why do you even have to get all in your feelings about it? If all the things that I'm saying aren't true, if white fragility isn't real, then why are you bothered by it? I don't know. Make it make sense. You can't. Okay, so Alyssa, she's still, I just hope that it gets cleared up. I hope everybody's able to talk and talk calmly. At this point, I don't think anyone should have to talk calmly. I think they should just have a house meeting and yell at this idiot at this point. But most likely, from what I'm seeing, the feeds have been down. And once Turner said, I'm putting Kyle up, that's that. I have to. What would it look like if I didn't, sort of thing. He didn't want to. He had to get there. It took him way too long to get there, in my opinion. Way too long. And now his weird targeting of Taylor is a whole reason that I'm side-eyeing him. I don't care. I don't care that everyone liked him. I don't like him when he's doing this. I don't care. I don't appreciate this kind of gameplay. I really don't. It makes no fucking sense. Panchita, thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate you. All right. So let me check right now and see if the feeds are back up. So they have Kyle. He's probably a Crimea River, Justin Timberlake in the DR because he's like, this can ruin my life. Well, how about you get back in the game, you apologize, you realize the wrong, maybe, ask the DR. I know we only get the Bible, but that isn't really helping in this situation. So can I get like a book on, bias, on bigotry, on racist, because I've only obviously read David Duke's biography. So if you could give me something else, that would be great. Just do anything other than leave. But he wants to leave because the moment he feels a little bit uncomfortable, he wants out of there. Okay, you guys are saying the feeds are still down. So yeah, the feeds are going to be down. I think it makes no sense to me other than they're, they got Kyle in the DR. They're trying to save him, keep him there. I wouldn't be surprised if he self-evicts. He seemed really, really, really that's usually what happens when racists get called out. They freak out. And Alyssa brought up again how this is going to ruin his life. This is going to ruin his real life. And she said this in front of Terrence. And I'm like, how blind can you be? How tone deaf can you be that you would say that in front of Terrence after what Terrence just heard? Whether you like Terrence's gameplay or not, like, that directly affects. Kyle's already talking about that he doesn't trust Terrence and he wants Monty out. It's clear that even though Brittany and Michael, thank you, Bonnie. I love you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Spoon. Thank you so much. That even if you don't like Terrence's gameplay, Terrence is still affected, like I said, because Kyle does not, even though the other people might not have wanted to went through with the KKK alliance, the White Bread Alliance, he wants to, and he's going to do it his own way. And he's going to manipulate people to get them. Because right now it wasn't even Turner's HOH. Like, it was Kyle. Kyle was running shit. He was coming in the room. Turner was like, I'm just going to put Alyssa and Terrence on the block. I'm just going to do this. And Kyle's like, no, we have to do this, that, the other thing, So it's just so crazy. Love you right back, Ballistic. But Alyssa's like, it's going to affect him on the outside world. Yes, it will. Yes, because in life there are consequences. Now, that's not saying you can't come back from that. That's not saying change can't happen. Why aren't you immediately thinking about, like, okay, how can I educate myself? How can I make amends? How can I do all these things? Why immediately? What can they cancel on Kyle? His TikTok account? What can they cancel? His mom's house? They can't take his mom's mortgage away. He's not paying it. I mean, what can they cancel on this man? Great clips, haircuts? I don't know. I feel like what did you plan on doing? I do know that he is represented by the same freaking agency. Like, I think it's a social media agency, maybe, like, manager that represents Nicole and Vic Franzel. It's not fair. Vic, Franzel and Vic. So I don't know. People were tweeting about that, but you can't cancel anything on a guy that don't have nothing. And a lot of this is just coming down to, you're not even going to get canceled. There's just going to be consequences. There is a consequence that go with, behavior like this. And I don't think that we should be worrying about what's going to happen to Kyle. I think we should worry about how the people in the house who just found out what this guy was doing, how do they feel, and checking on them. But now we're supposed to, so now you're asking the Black House guests to give a shit about Kyle and his TikTok account. And if it gets canceled, I'm sorry, but I don't think they will, knowing that now this guy, they've kind of been, the floaty fucker has now been outed as a bigot, and they've heard firsthand that he's targeting them based on their race and based on the fact that he thinks they're working together. And Monty, he made the most sense out of it. He's like, I'm someone who was so loyal to Kyle and I was so good to him. Like, what more did I need to do? And it was it was hard to hear Monty, because you could tell it really, like, hurt him, because he was just like, what more did I need to do to prove to this guy? Like, really, it just all comes down to this? It all comes down to your bigotry at this point? It all comes down to your racism? And you can talk as nice as you want to people of color, but it really comes down to how you treat them and how you treat individuals. Do you know what I mean? So you can be out here and be like, Kyle, like, no, I like you or whatever. But I would argue you don't, in fact, when you're trying to put together this all white alliance to take them out, even though Monty especially has been so loyal to you and given you no reason to doubt that. It's you and your own insecurities and your own biases that's causing that, We don't know. Thank you. So upset. We don't know if he self-evicted, but he said he was going to. He went and said he was going to. Patty Kitten Guru, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yes, I agree, Nicole. Racists are typically cowards. It's based in fear. It is all based in fear because Kyle probably has no really experience, I'm guessing, or friendships with people of color. He is from Utah. I do know Utah. I've been there a few times. I've performed comedy there. Nice place, very white. And I watched The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And even any of the people of color on Salt Lake City, the housewives say it's very white. It's a white place. And he hasn't had a lot of travel. He doesn't have a lot of experience. But he's 30, and there's just no excuse for this. At this point, there are too many resources that you can look up, there's too much history to be learned from for you to be willfully ignorant. And Kyle is willfully ignorant. And he'll want to have all the grace in the world when he's extended none. So that poor floaty, I know. It did not consent. You have to consent. Thank you for bringing so much joy to my day. Oh, you're so welcome, Lou. My neighbors can hear me cackling all the time. Ride along, ride on fucking home, Kyle, ride on fucking home. The floaty fucker, that poor floaty. And let me tell you, Brittany was in there, okay? And she was talking, I think this is when they were talking to Alyssa. And Brittany, do I have a screenshot of this? She put, so Kyle and Alyssa, before they do it, they're always, okay, so look at this. There's Brittany. She's covering up with the towel / blanket. And I don't know if it's the same one, you guys. They always lay down that one before they're going to fudge, okay? Before they're going to get it real quick. And she was covered in that. And I was like, oh no, Kyle's just got on your legs. Let me see if I can find to show you guys that. Okay, so here's where they were talking to her. So far they weren't covered in jizz blankets. They were just, there's, as you can see, there's the towel right there in the right corner that they lay down and have intercourses on. And oh no, I mean, I think Brittany's legs are going to get pregnant now. Okay. It's going to be Kyle's baby. You are the father. It's going to be a whole ass mess. She's going to have to go. I don't know if they got plan B for your legs, but I hope they do, because I don't want her to have to carry that with her. Where is that pic of them? Because I know someone tweeted and it was so funny. And they're like, we have 10 seconds. And it's someone I really enjoy. And I'm totally forgetting her name right now. Like, we have 10 seconds before the next veto. And then she's like, Kyle and Alyssa. And then they were laying down their sex equipment. Let's see if I can find it here for all of you. But yeah, that is the blanket that they school on, they school. Let's pull it over here. Send it to my iMac. They always lay this one down. They cuddle on it. They dry hump on it. They regular hump. I don't even know if that's a regular hump. I feel like Kyle is still getting an incomplete when it comes to sex. So as you can see, there's that underneath them. And they're, oh, my sex is on fire. And it's not. And then Brittany, no, Brittany, take it off. Take it off your legs, Brittany. Take it off your legs. Brittany, your legs are going to get pregnant. Oh, no. And I haven't seen them wash it. They haven't been able to go outside. So I don't know who's washing that. But I feel so bad. Ride along. Well, Daniel Tiger's probably going to be out there like, oh, I was right. You weren't right about anything. Dum-dum. You were not right about anything. You were never right. You've never been right your whole life. You've only been wrong. Leave us alone. So let me look at some of your comments now. Get that off the screen, Joey, please. My eyes. The sex dungeon. Oh my goodness. Let's see. That's they're not telling the other house guests that they're using these blankets and stuff. So I see people cuddled up. Like, I see Taylor has had a blanket on her, but I think it's a different blanket. I hope there's just multiple of these ones, because I'm like, no, Taylor, no, don't let it. And then someone posted this on Twitter and I was like, oh, this is a great interpretation of Kyle and Alyssa's sex. It's just like right as it's about to happen, he's like, I'm done. And so here's Alyssa finding out her boyfriend might be a racist. She's like, oh, not me. I don't know. Are you sure? Oh, what's going to happen to him outside of this? And then, I made some BB comics for them. The Rugrat, obviously Turner. Now, he's going to get rid of or he's going to put Kyle up. Now, him and Alyssa, I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. She had her moment with Terrence. Oh, his poor life. But he was in the DR and probably still is for a long time. Alyssa went up to talk to Turner. They ended up laying in his bed. Okay. And they're laughing, giggling, and she's talking about his facial hair. And this is before the feed's cut. And they were having a pretty jolly good time for the fact that, she was just upset that her racist boyfriend's racism might be called out. So now it was like, oh, well, I guess if he's not here, I guess I'll just flirt with Turner, because Turner, even Monty clocked it on the feeds last night or the night before. He told Taylor, Brittany, and Michael that both Kyle and Turner are in love with Alyssa. He's like, this makes no sense. And yeah, I mean, yeah. I would argue Terrence a little bit too. He's very protective of her. I don't know if it's on that kind of level or just his thinking he's gonna, protect her from something, even though she doesn't. Alyssa has never been in danger in this game. She's literally had to do nothing. She's not tried to do anything. The only thing she's done is treated it like Love Island and The Bachelor and wanted to fall in love. And then once she got the 10-second insemination, she said, well, let's just end the game and I want to go get married. And she talked to Kyle's mom on the feeds. So saying, I'm going to be great for your son. Clapping all the way from Vermont. Thank you, Bruno. Thank you. We don't talk about Bruno. No, but we do now. Okay. So yeah, we have the floaty fucker. And then Alyssa's would be the insecurity blankets. Because I mean, this woman needs a lesson in how to be secure and not so insecure, because she's so hyper threatened by everybody and everything, especially Taylor. She now is coming around where she trusts Taylor more than Monty, which Kyle did not like her saying that. He's like, I have done everything for this woman. I went against a 7-person alliance, and yet she's telling me now that she trusts Taylor more than Monty. And I'm thinking, Alyssa, if you ever would have given Taylor a chance, because right from the jump, Alyssa, who was Alyssa's best friend, you guys, it was Paloma. So Alyssa's never been innocent in this, despite every time she talks to Taylor, she's like, oh my God, I didn't know people were mistreating you. I'm so sorry that happened. That's crazy. It wasn't me. They were like, it was you. It was you and your pumpkin spice friend. You had a pumpkin spice PSL alliance, and you guys both had your backstage t-shirts on, and you talked about how you guys are hotter than Taylor, and you're going to get the guys, and that's how you're going to do it. So you blame Taylor just because she's a beauty queen and looks beautiful and has a certain walk that she does because she's a confident woman, and you both are not confident women. So you blamed her for her confidence, and you said that she was trying to play to the guys, but yet you both were saying in the bathroom with your backstage pass shirts on, saying that we're going to be the hot girls and we're going to get the guys on our side. We're going to do pumpkin spice. So yeah. And you were best friends with Jasmine and Indy, and now you're trying to rewrite history and tell people that you somehow told them, don't say that stuff, you guys. Knock it off. Don't talk about Taylor like that. That didn't happen, ma'am. That did not happen. Give me I need a timestamp on that, because I don't ever remember her standing up against any of the bullshit talking that happened about Taylor. Celia says Paloma Virus was her BFF. She still says to this day, despite seeing what Paloma did, despite all of that, she just told Kyle as they were laying amongst the ants, wondering when they were going to get another 10 seconds in during Dire Fest. Maybe they had to turn the feeds off because they just kept banging in front of them. But she still said, I'm going to hang out with Paloma after this. I can't wait to go hang out with Paloma in San Diego. And Kyle's like, I don't think I vibe with Paloma. And I'm thinking, I think you probably do vibe with Paloma more than you know, sir. But he was like, I doesn't like her. And she's like, I like her. Interesting. Very interesting. So this week, the season is messy. If you are a fan of Taylor, which I know a lot of you are, and I am, she's going to be safe because Kyle's going home. Now, if he self-evicts, she'll probably still be safe because, and then I changed it to this picture. I know which one kind of looked like her better because everyone's on the same page right now. I'm kind of hoping for a house meeting I would love to see Kyle address this, because I think at first, like, Turner and Alyssa wanted to think that maybe Michael and Brittany were lying, but Monty's like, no, there's no way they're lying. We've seen how we've seen how Kyle moves, and Brittany and Michael have a lot to lose in the real world. They're professionals, they're married, they wouldn't make this up. And then that's what everyone started saying, and that was the new narrative. Like, you wouldn't make something up that someone said some racist shit unless they did, because you'll be able to see it and you'll be canceled so fast. So, I mean, I would love a house meeting, Gabby. Wouldn't that be so fantastic? House meeting. I was hoping, because both Michael and Brittany said, if you have to, they told Turner, they told Alyssa, if you feel comfortable, we will call it out in front of him. We will say it. We have no problem with, we're not lying. This happened and it made us uncomfortable. Made him uncomfy. Okay, a house meeting. Yes, realification would be so epic. You guys, hit that like. Hit that like. It doesn't hurt. It's so free. It helps me in the algorithm. And then let's see. We have, who do we have here? We have DJ Showman Saver, Flavor Saver. I think Turner would be the Flavor Saver because he's got that Flavor Saver little pube stash. So we got DJ Showman Saver, DJ Terror Bear. He loves Alyssa. He calls her G. Okay. Yes. Because he knows it's true. Yeah. If it wasn't true, I mean, now he's going to talk. Now, this is what they do. That's what Jackson Mickey did. They run to the DR. They probably are calling his mom like they called Jackson Mickey's mom. It's just Jackson Mickey 2.0 at this point. Probably calling his mom, feeding him watermelon, going, are you okay, Kyle? And he's like, but he's trying to talk production, I'm sure, into like, you can't show this. I'm leaving. I want to do this. I didn't really say that. And they might be like, well, you did though. You did. Thank you, Celia. Yes, let's get to 1.3K likes. And then also we have Kyle, the 2 pump chump. This could be, one of his comics. I don't know. Maybe they should hire me. Maybe they shouldn't. Allie's here. Yay. Miranda says Kyle freaked out because he was caught. I think he thought I got away with it too. And he thought, except for those pesky kids, Michael and Brittany. JJ Nichols says, can we just acknowledge the footage that Monty is the only one that acknowledged his wrongdoings and apologized? Yep, for his mistakes. Monty really redeemed himself. He really did. I did not think that I was going to be like, go Monty, early on in the game. But he has had many talks with Taylor. I feel like they're in a good place. He did say that he would use the veto if he wanted and take her off. I believe that now. So yeah, it was Jess's tweet I was talking about earlier. So Jess tweeted the picture of Kyle and Alyssa preparing their fuck floaty. And then it was like, Big Brother says 10 seconds till the veto competition. And then she said Kyle and Alyssa. And it was so funny. And I just loved your tweet, Jess. And I was like, I know who it was, but I got like post-COVID brain or something. Well, Lay's Potato Chips, if you're waiting for that sponsorship, Lay's Potato Chips has tweeted multiple times about Taylor and saying that they only watch for Taylor. So, I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you, Pomegranate, for the tie-dye fund. God, I always need new tie-dye. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, Jess is great on Twitter. Follow her. There's so many great accounts on Twitter. Jess is one of them. Super funny about Big Brother and also like super relevant tweets. Love it. So that's all I have for you guys. As for some spoilers, we have tonight's episode. I'll be back hopefully with Chell, with my husband, for a casual corner. Now that we've spilled a lot, we'll see. We'll see if this guy self-evicts, if he comes back, if there's a house meeting. But as of now, Michael is going to use the veto that he won, take Brittany off the block, and Turner's going to put up Kyle because his racism has been exposed. It's been exposed, his Cookout 2.0 theory and him targeting all the people of color in the house just because they are people of color. So, no, Chell doesn't really know much. I wanted to tell him so bad, you guys. And he's like, no, he always says, you'll ruin Casual Corner. You're going to ruin Casual Corner. Chell is by the book. I am the cheater, pumpkin eater. He is by the book. Okay. He will, he's honest. I put stuff on the bottom of my cart at Michael's and walk out. Like, he is a good person. I am garbage. Okay. So there you go. Stephanie, you are so talented. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing, amazing, amazing. Chell is fun. He is super fun. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Yes, we need a Casual Corner. We need it. Hit that like. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, so we're going to see Kyle go on the block. As of now, if Kyle does go on the block, there is a good chance he will go home. Because it's going to be really hard to justify keeping him in this game after that. And that is the point that Brittany and Michael were trying to make. And now Monty's making and Taylor's making. We haven't really heard a ton from Taylor. She has talked to Monty, but she's just doing, it's the karma. It's the karma they're all receiving. She's just eating her chips. She's got her blanket on. She's got her shades on. She's having, the best day you can have when you've been targeted by a racist the whole game. But she's making the best of racism, which is really hard to do. PS5 for Chell. Yes, please comment after the live, after this video post. Appreciate all of you in the comments. Thank you. Shout out to my mods. Thank you so much for the super chats. And thank you. We were like 13, almost 1,400 strong. Appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you sub, like, and comment after all your thoughts. What do you hope happens this week? They didn't see Zingbot. They thought they were going to see Zingbot. It's not Zingbot time. And I'll be back later tonight after the episode with a full recap. All right. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. And remember to enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Bye.